It blew up.
And what is it, 2 and 3 that were the originals?
No, 3 and 4.
Or 3 and 4?
Yeah.
That's right, 1, 2.
The D.
3, 4.
Lavernes were
Yeah.
800 kilowatts apiece,
Yeah.
3 and 4. And that was 1,600 kilowatts I added onto the steam plant's production for streetlights.
Oh, yeah.
It had
Yeah.
13 circuits coming out of 3 and 4. Engine number 3 and 4 for 13 streetlight circuits in Grand Haven.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. That was how that all started.
That was when you could race around town and they'd know you were racing on the other end of town.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they knew you weren't gonna go fast because you only had 2 horsepower.
Exactly.
Did you even have horsepower then? Or you actually have a horse then?
They
You could
actually had
turbocharge
horses.
them by giving them green oats.
There was a livery stable at, you know where Robbins Road in Sheldon is?
Yeah.
There was a livery there, and people from the country would bring their horse and buggies in and park them there, and then take the trolley from there into town.
And that was valet parking.
That's why they just I don't know,
You
10
ever-
years ago.
You don't have to fill it up, just give them some oats.
Yeah, there you go.
Just 10 years ago, they dug Sheldon up and finally took all those trolley tracks out of it.
Trolleys were a big thing in a lot of cities, boy.
Mhm.
Marquette used to have them.
Yeah.
Going right up Front Street Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Christ,
Down
I almost
Washington.
think, yeah, they got rid of them in '83, I think.
What are you thinking doing?
My name is Dave Newman. I'm a diesel operating mechanic.
And
for
what
Borderlight and Power.
and what does your day consist of?
Mostly, it consists of maintaining the engines to be operationally ready to run if they need to be run.
And when do we run? Mostly.
Well, we run mostly at the needs of the power grid. If additional power is needed above and beyond what JB Sims power plant can provide, then they start us up for peak power needs. Lately, though, the power prices have dictated whether we run or not, and we're pretty good for most of the summer, so we ran quite a bit for additional revenue. So, also we have engines that run on a number 5 heavy oil that is a high sulfur fuel that we won't be able to use anymore by May of 2013. So we're trying to use up that remainder of the fuel that we have left.
And how much do we have left?
I can tell you exactly. We're going to do our sounding of that big heavy oil tank on Monday, and we'll have a better idea. But it's probably somewhere around 60,000 gallons remaining. So,
And how long can we run on 60,000?
well, number 7 engine uses about 6 gallons a minute at 4 megawatts. It runs about 6 gallons a minute.
And how many engines do we have here that we can run?
Number 1 engine is a 4-stroke Enterprise V16 Enterprise, and it can run at about 6 to 7 megawatts by itself. It's a natural gas engine. Number 2 engine is a heavy oil engine. We can run that at about 2.5 megawatts. Number 3 and number 4 engines are decommissioned. They were the original engines in the diesel plant, and were installed in 1931. They're D. Laverne 6 cylinders, but they were only 800 kilowatts apiece. Number 5 engine is still operable, and it is number 2 fuel oil engine. Number 6 is the natural gas engine at 3 megawatts. Number 7 is a heavy oil engine, runs about 4 megawatts, 4.2 megawatts. So all total, if we had everything running and operable here would be about 20 megawatts for the entire plant.
And have we ever had everything up and running at once?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. And
Right now, no. And we're waiting to see if they're going to repair that or not.
okay. And what are any major environmental concerns that you have with the diesel plant?
Major environmental concerns would be, as with any fossil fuel, is nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide emissions and visible smoke emissions, things like that. Like I said, the heavy oil, high sulfur fuels can't be used after May of 2013 because they're high sulfur content. And if they decide to not put the equipment in place, like catalytic converters and such, that would make us viable, you know, as far as environmentally viable to run, then you know, the diesel plant may be looking at decommissioning. So, number one engine is probably the one that they would consider keeping operable, because it'll put up 7 to 8 megawatts by itself, which is more than enough to start JB Sims if we had a dark start condition. If the entire grid were down and this were the only engine available to provide power to start the Sims generating facility, then it could still do that. So we're thinking if that's a viable option, then that might be part of the reason this diesel generating facility would stay open.